Are you going to be in the market for a new home in the near future, but your credit score is not exactly where it needs to be? Hey, that's okay, because in this video, I'm going to go over with you what you need as far as credit scores are concerned and what you can do to get yourself ready in 6 months to buy a home. Hey, today I just want to take a minute, talk about some credit scores, let you know where you need to be in order to get qualified for a loan and buy a home. And if your credit score is not where it needs to be, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that you can get your credit score where it needs to be within about 6 months and be able to buy that home that you want to get. So for FHA loans, you're going to need to be, I would say 580 or better. Now, 580 is going to get you right around 3.5% on your down payment. But if you have less than that, then you can probably still get qualified, but you're going to pay a lot more out of pocket up front for the down payment. Because let's be honest, lenders aren't going to want to lend you a lot of money if your credit score is not where it should be in the first place. So make sure you get that up to at least a 580 if FHA is the way that you want to go. And if not, maybe you're thinking about conventional or VA. With conventional, you're going to need to be at 620. Obviously, the better your credit score, the better the terms, the better interest rate, all that good stuff that comes along with the loan. And then VA doesn't really have a minimum, but most lenders are going to want you to be at that 620 or better in order for you to get qualified for the loan. So now maybe you're saying, well, I got a 540. Okay, so 540, 530, you're going to be hard pressed to get qualified for any loan. I'm just going to be real with you. So what you need to do to get yourself in a position to buy a home in the next 6 months is, first, I would recommend checking your credit reports. So you're going to have 3 credit reports. You've got Experian, you've got TransUnion, and you got Equifax. Now, most lenders are going to take the middle. They're not going to go with the highest. They're not going to go with the lowest credit score. They're going to take that middle score, and that's what they're going to score you on, and that's what you'll get approved by. So I'm not saying that you don't need to get all 3 of them up, because you do. The better, the higher all of them are, the better off you're going to be. But just make sure that you're paying attention to that, and as you do these next steps, you kind of monitor it and make sure you're going in the right direction. So one big thing that you're going to need to do is, I know this one's crazy out there, but pay your bills on time. Okay. This is huge, especially when it comes to mortgage payments or anything to do with housing. You want to make sure that you're making those payments on time, because guess what? If you have a late mortgage payment or anything to do with housing, you're going to have to wait 12 months from that late payment until you will be able to get qualified to buy a home. So that's huge as far as being able to buy a home. So if you were late on your payment last month, 6 months is not going to work, even if you did get your credit up, because you had that late payment. So make sure you're paying that on time. Make sure you're paying all your bills on time. That way you don't have any issues when it comes to getting qualified when you do get your credit score where it needs to be. Then the next thing that is big, in my opinion, is going to be reducing your credit card balances. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to go pay this credit card off and my credit score is going to shoot up. But for whatever reason, it doesn't really work like that. Okay, so what I typically recommend is get those credit card balances down to 30% of what the limit is on your card. So, and this goes for all of them, not just one of them, but you need to do this on all of them. So pay it down till you have 30% or less on that credit card, according to whatever the limit is. Now, I will say, I typically try to do 10%. So, I always recommend just leave a little bit on there. Whether you take 2 or 3 cards and you use them once a month, pay it down, leave 15, 20, $100 on there. That's going to shoot your credit score up significantly, especially if you've had a large balance on those cards over the last however many months. Just get them down to at least between 10 and 30% of what the limit is, and that's going to help you tremendously. So I know this should go without saying, but we need to also avoid any new debt. Okay, so make sure you're not going out getting more credit cards or anything like that. That's not going to help the situation at all. Just maintain the ones that you have and the accounts that you already have open. Now, if you don't have any credit, you've never had any credit cards, we'll get to that in a minute. But if you do have credit cards, you don't need to go out and get another one thinking it's going to help you with your credit score. It's not. You just need to maintain the ones that you have now, and then you'll be good to go. Now, you do want to settle any past accounts that you have. Again, this kind of just goes back to paying your bills on time and that kind of thing. So past due accounts will hurt you, so make sure you get those paid off. That way you don't have an issue whenever you go to get pre-approved. Now, if you don't have credit, or you haven't done anything before, you can become an authorized user on a family member or a friend's card as long as they pay their bills on time, okay? You don't want to go getting on somebody's credit card and they're 3 months late paying it, or they've got a 90% balance on there. So make sure you're smart about this. If you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. It will help your credit score. You just have to be very careful and make sure that those people are going to pay their bill and pay it on time, because if they don't, it's not going to help you, it's going to hurt you, okay? Now, another thing you can do is get a secured credit card, which is basically a prepaid credit card. You put money on it, but it will help your credit score. So if you don't have any credit, this could be a good way for you to start. And if you don't have any credit, then fine. Go ahead and get you a credit card. Use it once or twice a month. Make sure you pay it down to that 30 or 10% according to whatever the limit is. And then that will help you build your credit over the next 6 months. And then that way you have at least something to go off of whenever you go to get pre-approved. Now, I'm going to say hard inquiries really hurt you as far as your credit score is concerned. So, let's say you go and try to buy a car. If you go through that car lot and they're trying to get your financing, they're going to blast your information out to 20, 25 lenders. They're all going to be pulling your credit. Everybody's going to be trying to get you approved. So those are all hard inquiries on your credit, and that does not help you at all. So this just kind of goes back to avoid any new debt. If you're going to be in the market to buy a new home in the next 6 months to a year, I would recommend you not go buy any big purchases like a car or anything like that. Anything that's going to put more debt in your name, because at the end of the day, your debt to income ratio is going to be what determines whether you qualify or not. So if you have too much debt, according to what you make, then you're not going to get qualified anyways, regardless of what your credit score is. So just make sure you keep that in mind. Don't go out going spending crazy before you want to buy a home, because that's not the way to be able to do it, okay? Now, like I said in the beginning, you want to be checking your credit scores as you're doing this, making sure they're going up, making sure they're moving and going in the direction you want to go. If not, then I would say maybe contact a professional and have them look at it and tell you exactly step by step what you need to do to get it to go up and be ready to buy that house in 6 months to 8 months. So that's about it. That's all I've got. And I just want to say, if you guys need anything on this or anything to do with real estate, I'm always available. 478-888-7808, and make sure to go down there and smash that subscribe button. Y'all have a good day. We'll see you on the next one.